Abundance Deep Dive, day 21 today. Holy moly. Time is flying. It's been 3 weeks and I feel like a different version of myself already in just 3 weeks, which is great. You know, some of the things that I'm challenged with now are, what do I want to ask the simulator, and what opportunities am I looking for, and what would be like my wildest fantasy come true kind of thing to kind of challenge and play with the universe a little bit. So totally different from 3 weeks ago when I'm like, how am I going to pay rent? And I love it. It's exactly what I was looking for, and it is exactly the best problem for me to have right now is, what do I really want? Like, now that I've let go and am creating room in my life for something new, what does that something new look like? And I get to make it whatever floats my boat, which ties in perfectly to today's chat, which was all about play. And this isn't something that I am struggling with at all. In fact, I can actually help people with this area of their life because I like to do crazy, goofy things for money, and it feels effortless, right? When it's in sync and when it is in alignment. So I know that some people, they're so focused on their career. It's so serious. It's so, you know, planned out and mapped out, and you have to follow this system, and there's no room for goofing around. There's no room for, you know, chit chat or play in work. That eventually, you know, your life kind of passes you by, and you're like, what the heck? Like, so many years have gone by, and I don't even know how to do it anymore, right? I like my job that it's like that. So it's not something that I have to try and squeeze into my life. In fact, when, you know, today's chat was over, parts of it I was kind of tuning out. Just so happened that a couple of things were happening at the same time. There was a lady that messaged me out of the blue to take the retreat that I just canceled. And I looked at her, I'm like, this is my problem, is that there's a lot of interest, but nobody's committing. So until there is commitment for it, I am going to put it on hold. I'm open to the possibility of opening it up again, but it also means acquiring all of the stuff that I just finished selling. So, and I said that to her, like, this is the boat that I'm in right now. So this is what I'm looking to do for my job long term, and let's see how that fits into place. She asked me about private classes, and instantly I'm like, you know what? I'm not saying no, but that is not a path that I want to go back down. I feel like I've already come from there. I did that. That's how I started, was doing private classes. And I would have to be charging crazy amounts of money. So the quote that I gave her was actually more money than it would be to do the retreat. And she's like, holy, like, I didn't know that it would cost so much. And I said, part of it is my time. Like, you're paying me what I'm worth to teach you how to do this. And I'm not saying no, but I'm saying there might be a better way to have a better win-win. And I love and appreciate that you love my work. So let's figure something out. If you're willing to kind of teach yourself and follow along with some of the things that I'm willing to create, that fits my lifestyle and my gypsy crazy, you know, weirdo life better, that I can do things on my own terms, and I'm not trying to coordinate a bunch of admin and a bunch of people to fit into a set schedule. That is what was driving me nuts, and making the same thing over and over was also driving me nuts. This way I can create it once, you know, create a video, create the tutorial and the steps, and then post a link to the supplies or the kit, and then I'm done and I get to move on to the next project. And if they want to catch up on one of the old ones, great, just zip online and it's all there right listed for you. I don't have to do it over and over again. I've wanted to do that for a very long time, so now it's like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I've got the free time. Let's get cracking and let's get creating. So when it comes time, like a day like this, where I feel like I need to kind of recharge my batteries a little bit, but working for me is play, like creating art, you know, some of the stuff that's back here, that's part of my job. So on my days off, I don't want to do that, because when I'm back to work, that's what I'm doing. So I need something that's a little bit different. And I was thinking, like, if I could do anything today, what would that be? Like, just a fun, free day. Let's go off the schedule a little bit and do something different. And what does that look like? And for some of it, it's going shopping, and not necessarily buying anything, but my background is retail management. So I like looking at the displays. I like looking at what's new and what's colorful, and the different lighting that they use and the different signage that they have. And I know that sounds really stupid, but I like it. And it's something that I'm like, that's a really cool tactic. I like that marketing perspective. And it's something that I never really would have thought of, but because it's been ingrained in deep in my past, it's something that I didn't hate, and part of it, I kind of miss it. So on days that I need to just kind of goof around and do nothing, sometimes it's a trip to Costco. And instead of just beelining to the areas that I know my stuff is at, I wander through every aisle, look at everything they have, and it takes me 3 times longer to go through Costco. But I walked out thinking, like, you know what? That was great. I felt energized again. It sounds kind of silly, but that's what I like, and it doesn't bother me, right? Yeah, it's interesting to watch people struggle with this part of their life, in that I find some of my best students are actually, the lawyers, the accountants, the bankers, the suit and tie, right? The polished, professional look that they present themselves with every single day. And then when it comes to some of these events, they come dressed very similar, or it's a dressed down version of that. I'm like, dude, wear your grubbies. Like, don't get, you're not dressing up for me. And if you're afraid to get it wrecked, don't wear it to my workshop, because I want you to get dirty. I want you to get in it. I want you to be kind of sweaty and diving into it, and not afraid that you're going to wreck, your outfit or your manicure or whatever, when you come to take a class. And people get so uptight until they just surrender to it and they realize that they're knee deep in it and they're having fun. And it takes a little bit to shift that, but it's one of my favorite things to do when I'm teaching a class, is to find those people that are so uptight, right? They're so uncomfortable, and by the time they leave, they are the most grateful students. They are the ones that often buy the tools and the supplies to do it at home because they had such a great time. And that's part of why I do this work. I could be back in retail management. I could have worked my way up to, the top of the company and climb my way there. And I was headed for HR, which there's no way that this could be stuck behind a desk, pushing paperwork all the time. That's just not my life. So it's figuring it out and play all the time. I mean, it's one of my core values. If I'm not enjoying myself when I'm doing something, then I stop doing it. And I also realize that there's a fine line between when I need money and if I'm going to have fun. And sometimes it becomes, I say yes to the money at the expense of having fun. And I need to get back to when I'm at that fork in the road where I really want to say yes to the money, but it doesn't quite feel fun. That's where I'm at a 4 out of 5. Like, everything else is lining up, no problem. But I don't think it's going to be like, jump out of bed, yes, I'm so excited to do this. It's more like, let's just do this and get it over with so we can collect a paycheck. And I need to get to the point where I say no to those opportunities. I'm saying no to the 4s, and I'm going to hold out for the 5. I'm going to wait to that amazing, crazy fun opportunity where I can't stop thinking about it, I'm losing sleep over it, shows up. And if that means that I only take on 3 or 4 projects a year, that's great. I love having all this extra free time to goof around and, spend time at Costco and help my mom with a project that she wanted to work on and help my grandma with something. Like, I love that I have the time, and it's a luxury that a lot of people don't have. So yeah, that was today. Have fun, play, do something that you always wanted to do, but you never really gave yourself permission to do, or you're kind of afraid to do it, especially if things don't line up in terms of like taking a friend or going with a family member. Go by yourself. There's meetup groups for stuff like that, or show up and find somebody else that's solo, or people that you think you can relate to. Introduce yourself and say, hey, I'm by myself. Do you mind if I hang out with you? There's so many times that I just show up. I'm like, hey, you guys want to, partner together? Like, can I join your group? And they're like, yes. How come you don't have a friend here? How come you don't have... I'm like, you know what? They're just not into it. So I'm not going to let my life pass me by because I'm too afraid to do something by myself. And sometimes I've made amazing friends with that. So don't be afraid. Try it once. It's not going to kill you. Doing something that scares you is going to help to grow your comfort zone. And it's actually a lot of fun, especially when you look back and you're like, wow, I cannot believe I did that. And I'm so proud of myself that I did. So I have so many of those moments, and it gives self-confidence, and it just gives a different perspective and light to your personality and to your character development. It's part of why life is worth living. So that's it for today. I am super stoked about tomorrow. Let's see what happens. And I'm also super stoked that I am getting my hair done on Thursday. It's been a long time coming, so hopefully I'll have a new do, and catch you guys tomorrow.